A government shutdown is looming with a deadline for any deal approaching at midnight on September 30th. That's Wednesday of next week. Joining us right now is Douglas Holtz-Eakin, who is former Congressional Budget Office Director in the George W. Bush administration. He's now the president of the American Action Forum and former Office of Management and Budget Director under President Biden, Shalonda Young. She's a visiting fellow at Georgetown University. And we called you guys the number crunchers, but I think the reason we really need to talk to you today is because you're also political experts and kind of whisperers of how things work on Capitol Hill. Doug, I would ask you, does this time feel different to you? Do you think we are in for a more prolonged shutdown than we've seen in recent history?
It doesn't look any different to me, Becky. Thanks for having me on. This is a simple moment. You either shut the government or you don't. No one should want to shut the government. And we have a route to go forward. There's a House-passed continuing resolution that would take us to November 21st. So the Senate can pass it, and they can go back to negotiating the outlines of the budget, which is what we need to do. Stay at the table, keep negotiating. So that's the only decision that has to be made, and I don't see any reason why that's different now. I mean, they had the same decision in March, and they made that decision and we went forward. So this is the same vote. Democrats supported it before, Republicans supported it before. They should support it again.
Shalonda, the president upped the ante last night with this memo that the White House put out saying that if these employees are furloughed, the agency should look at ways of potentially getting rid of them for good, not bringing them back, has kind of been the gentleman's agreement to this point. Where do the Democrats go from here?
I agree with Doug on one point. You normally see this kind of theater leading up to the September 30th deadlines. But what's different is exactly what you pointed out, this threat, basically, this smokescreen to take people's view, intimidation, really, to say we will use this to fire employees if Democrats don't vote for this bill. You also saw a meeting scheduled between congressional Democrats and the president abruptly pulled down. And that's a big difference. When I was in the middle of these funding fights, the one thing you had to do was talk. You had to negotiate. We didn't default because we worked with Kevin McCarthy when I was the director of the Office of Management and Budget. So the easy thing to do here is not just ask Democrats to vote for something that has been used to carry on things like tariffs and other parts of this administration they disagree with, but sit down and have a real negotiation, talk like adults. That's the normal way to do things in this town, in addition to the normal theater we see that is coming out of the White House.
Doug, you think this is theater, or you think that this is take it or leave it?
This is, the staffing levels at agencies have nothing to do with whether we vote to shut the government or not. The president can make those decisions now. He can make those same decisions in November. The only decision is whether you vote to continue the funding levels. And I'll point out, these are the funding levels that were decided upon by the Biden administration. We did a continuing resolution to carry them into this year. The only decision is, do you want to carry them again for another, couple of months to November 21st? That's a decision Democrats and Republicans said, yes, let's do that in March. They should do it again. Government doesn't close. They continue to negotiate. It's not complicated. The rest is all, theater and those surrounding stuff that goes with it. It's not a budgetary decision. The only one there is up or down.
Yeah, Shalonda, the Democrats may have overestimated their leverage in this situation.
I would say this isn't about leverage. It's about doing what you think is right. The one thing the minority party has is their vote. So do you agree with the way things are being done with a bill that you voted for? And the obvious answer is absolutely not. I wish this was the funding bill being carried out the way that we negotiated when I was the director of the Office of Management and Budget. But what you're seeing is a handshake agreement on these bills, Democrats voting for them, and then a partisan vote on rescissions and impoundments made solely by the administration. So a handshake on Tuesday and a taking away on Wednesday. That's not been done before. And that is an extreme change in normal operations between the parties. And those aren't real deals. You can't ask someone to go along with something and then come along and completely obliterate that deal on a partisan basis. And that's what we've seen since March.
Shalonda, when the Republicans were going to do this and were asking for things, and they were the party that was out of power, and they were saying, if you don't do it, what we want, we're not going to keep the government open, but it's going to be your fault for not doing what we want. And Democrats just rolled their eyes. It's like you're not in a position to dictate. And that's the same thing now. It's just the shoe's on the other foot. The Democrats are not in a position to dictate what goes on here. It's like Doug said. It's like take it or leave it. If you don't, you're shutting the government down. If Schumer tries to say, "Oh, the Republicans are shutting," no one's going to believe that. People are going to roll their eyes.
The last time I checked, we're not in a parliamentary system. We're in divided government. Congress has Congress has an equal say in how this goes.
Then have your say and shut the government down, but the Democrats will be doing it.
Hey, I bring you back to debt ceiling talks. As someone who spent 3 weeks without seeing my kid, and Kevin McCarthy saying, hey, you want my votes? You want to avert a default? Then you got to sit down and talk to me. Same deal here. What's changed?
Doug, what has changed?
I don't see that anything's changed. I mean, we've seen one offer on the table that says, look, the right thing to do is run deficits that are $1.5 trillion larger over the next 10 years if you don't want to shut the government. That's not a serious offer. I don't think Shalanda thinks it's a good idea to run the debt up another $1.5 trillion. So have a discussion about what's actually on the table, which is, do we want to run the government till November 21st? And in between, figure out the appropriations bills. The appropriators can solve that problem. They do it all the time. I just don't understand why these other extraneous things have been brought into the discussion. This is a simple decision. The same decision was made in March. It was successful. Do it again.